Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Ijoma here, and in today's video we are going to learn how to make this dress. But first of all, we will start with the cutting video. This tutorial is quite long, so I had to divide it into part 1 and part 2. You can see that only the cutting is up to 23 minutes, and the cutting part is the only part that took some time. Now we have our fabric, and I have about 2.5 yards of fabric, but you should buy up to 3 yards so that your gathers can be very full. 3 yards by 60. Now this is an off shoulder dress. Let's call it off shoulder, and I want it to start from 6.5 inch. Like from my shoulder, I'll come down by 6.5 inch, and that is where I want it to start from. You can take yours down to 7 or 8. Then I marked my bust point 10. 2 inches above my bust point is my chest line, that is 8. My half length is 17. My shoulder to hip is 27. Then the full length, I want to make it 35 inches. Then I will divide this paper into two. I want to use it to draft both the front and the back. So I will use my biggest measurement, that is the hip. The hip is 44 divided by 4, that is 11. So I'll just go ahead and mark 11 or even 12, and then use it to divide this paper into two. If you want to divide your paper, use your biggest body measurement, which is the hip. So my hip is 44, and I divided 44 by 4, that is 11, right? But I made it 12. So I'm going to like demarcate this paper into two, one side for the front, the other side for the back. Now, like I said, I came down by 6.5 inch from my shoulder because I want it to be more destiny too. But if you want your cleavage to show, you can come down by 7 or 7.5 from your shoulder. Then you mark your bust point. Then 2 inches above your bust point will be your armhole line, or also known as chest line. So after connecting all these lines, I'll go ahead and extend my chest line all the way to the back. The chest line for the front and the back will be the same. Then the half length for my back is 15.5 inch. My front half length is 17. My back half length is 15.5. So my hip line at the back is 25. Then, sorry, my hip line at the back is 25.5. Then the full length of from the back will be around 33.5. So the thing is, the back pattern is 1.5 inch shorter than the front because of the difference between the front and the back half length. So I'll go ahead and label all these lines. This is my chest line, my bust points, my half length, my hip line, my full length. So after labeling all these lines, I'll go ahead and divide this paper into two. I'll keep the back first. So let's draft the front first of all. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is to measure my nipple to nipple. That is 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'm marking for 4 inches from the center front. And I'll go ahead and extend this line down to the full length. I'll start from the top. I'll start from the neckline and extend it down to the full length. So we are going to do under bust tightening and then upper bust tightening so that it will not be gaping at the bust area. So here I will stop here for now and then divide this paper into two to avoid confusion. Seeing the front and back lines all together may get you confused. So let's separate the back pattern from the front pattern. Now this is the pattern that we are working with for the front. I'm done marking my nipple to nipple line, and I extended the line down to the full length, right? So on both sides of this line, I'll go ahead and take out half inch. At the neckline also, I'll take out half inch on both sides. So at the half length, take out half an inch. If you are busting, you can do 0.75 on both sides. Then connect it to 1 inch below the bust point. Then from 1 inch above the bust point, you will connect to the neckline. So you can see I have done my upper bust tightening. Then from this half length, you will take down that dart line down to the full length. The other dart line too, you will also connect it down to the full length. So let me shade it so that you will know that we are going to cut this out. All right, so after taking your waist dart, you will take your upper bust dart. Then the next thing is measurement. At the bust, I'm going to divide my bust by 4 plus 1 inch data allowance for that upper bust tightening. Then at the half length, I will divide my waist by 4 plus 1 inch data allowance. At the hip, my hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch data allowance. at the full length, you will just connect from the hip straight down, or even give it an A-line shape if you have enough paper. But don't worry about that, we are going to do slash and spread. So once you get your hip measurement, whatever you have at that hip, take it straight down to the full length, and you go ahead and cut out. Now the next thing we are going to do here is to put in our neckline, our v-neck. So that v-neck is just 0.75. Like on fold, I measured 0.75 and connected it down to my bust point for that V part, 0.75. If you make it more than this 0.75, by the time you are done turning everything, your V may be too wide. So just leave it at 0.75. I hope you understand. Then for the neckline, I'm going to make it 7 inches plus 1 inch for this that line at the top. So the neck width is going to be 14 at the front. So just mark 7 inches plus, or just mark 8 inches total. Then for the side that I marked 1.5. The reason why I marked 1.5 is because the distance between my front and my back half length is 1.5. So that's why I marked 1.5 on my side that. I hope you understand. For the neckline, I marked 7 inches before marking the armhole. I hope you get it. Now we are going to cut out all our pieces. I've cut out the center piece. I'll cut off these darts. Then this is our side piece. I'll also cut out the side piece, then open up the side dart and close it on paper. Now we are done. Our center is ready. I'll cut off my neckline too, my V neckline. So this is center front CF and side front SF. Now over to the back. We are done with the front. Now this is our back. The first thing that we are going to do here is to cut off the full length of the back. Of course, the back full length is shorter. But then after closing the side dart of the front and the back will align at the side when joining. I marked out 1 inch for zipper allowance first of all, 1 inch up to my neckline, and I'm going to label it as zipper allowance. All right. So now after that, the next thing that I'm going to do is just to cut off my chest line. Like the neckline of this dress is straight at the back. So from the armhole line, just cut it straight. The back neckline is straight. Then you are going to mark your 4 inches for your dart line and connect it down to the full length. Now after doing that, at the half length, you are going to take half inch dart allowance, and you can connect it, you can end it at the hip line, or you can even end it at the full length. So for me, I choose to end it at the full length. Yes. So after marking this half inch on both sides of the dart line at the half length, you will take it straight down to the full length. But if you want, you can leave it at the hip line just like I did, but I don't really want it that way. I will take it down to my full length. Then at the back also, we are going to take our bust measurement divided by 4 at the half length, waist divided by 4 plus 1 inch for that. At the hip line, like I said, I want to take this dart straight down to the full length. So at the hip line, I will divide my hip by 4 plus 1 inch for that, and whatever I have at the hip line, I'll take it straight down to the full length. Then I will cut out. Now after cutting this out, I'll label it as side, center back, and then side back, CB and SB. I hope you get it now. So it is time to cut out that side cut. The side cut is what is remaining now. So this is our paper, pattern paper side by side, and you can see after closing the dart line, you can see that the two of them are now equal. So what we are going to do right now is to close our dart lines, like this, the front dart line you will close it from the half length down to the full length. The back dart line you also close it using your masking tape. So right now I am done closing all of them with my masking tape. So this gather will start from my half length. I want my own to start exactly on my half length. Then from that half length, you will come down by, let's say, 4.5 inch, sorry. Then from that 4.5 inch, you will, from the dart line, you will go in by 1.5. From the half length, come down by 4.5. Then from that 4.5, go inwards by 1.5, and then make a V line like this. Then once you connect this V from the half length to that 1.5 inch that you went in by, you will now take it straight down. First of all, measure from your half length, come down by 4.5. Then from that 4.5, mark 1.5 inwards. So from that 1.5 you marked inwards, connect it back to the half length, and then from that 1.5 also take it straight down. Now I will open up the darts of the front. Yeah, so the front will still have that opening. We have gotten what we want. So using this paper that we have cut out for the front, I'll also place it on the back paper and cut out the same thing. I hope you understand. So I will go ahead and cut. If I cut, I will slash open. I will slash it to the waistline. Now I'll also open up the dart line for the back. This is our center and our side back. Now we'll start our cutting, but before we do that, we are going to close this paper that we cut out. We're just going to close it side by side, but if you want, you can just use one of them to do the cutting, but let's just close it so that you will understand what I'm doing here. This is the side of the front, this is the side of the back. So we are going to join them together using our masking tape before we go ahead to do slash and spread. So now we are done closing, and we'll start marking our slash lines. So these lines are marking are like 2 inch, 1.5 inch or 1 inch away from each other. So after marking all the lines, go ahead and label before you start slashing. All right. So after labeling, I have 10 pieces here, and I will go ahead and place it on my fabric first of all before I slash to avoid problems. So now this is the paper that I will use for the sleeve. I'll fold my paper into two. This is for the sleeve. Now remember that this dress, I measured it as all shoulder. From the shoulder down to where my neckline started from at the front is 6.5. From the shoulder down to where my neck started at the back is 8. So 6.5 plus 8 is about 14.5. All right. So if you divide 14.5 into 2, you'll be getting 7 point something. So from the top of this paper, from the top of the paper, after folding it, come down by, let's say, 6 inches at least from the shoulder down. You will come down by 6 inches at least. Then at that 6 inches line, mark your round sleeve. So my round sleeve is 14 divided by 2, that is 7. So I will connect my round sleeve measurement. Then I will make an armhole cut from the top down to that 6 inches. You can see that I came down by 6 inches. So from the top, connect from the top down to 6 inches. Then measure this curve to make sure that you have up to 10 inches. So now I have up to 10 inches. And from the top, come down by 4 inches and place your curve this way. Then from that 4 inches, connect it to the end, to that round sleeve measurement. I hope you understand what I mean. So first of all, get your round sleeve, curve your armhole. Then from that place, come down by 4 and then connect the way I did. Now, this is our sleeve, right? I will slash the center and open it. So if I slash and open it, it will give our sleeve more space to have this cup shape. Not only will it have the cup shape, it will also have a little gathers after adding your elastic. That is the essence of this slash and spread that I did. So that is it. Now we are going to get our fabric and we'll place this sleeve on it. When we are cutting, we'll place this slash on it and then add 1 inch allowance or maybe half-inch allowance around it. So now let's start our cutting. I want to start by cutting out my center front and my center back. So these areas that have patterns on this fabric are the places that I will use to cut out my center front and center back. So now that I am done cutting those out, I'm going to fold this fabric into two. I'll fold it into two. It is time for our slash and spread. Then this place that has patterns, I want it to be at the hem line of that gathers. So right now, I am done folding this fabric into two. I'm going to place my fabric. I'm going to place my paper on top. Then I will start slashing. After slashing, I will spread this paper. They will be like, let's say 2 inches away from each other, and that's the reason why I numbered them, so that I will not misplace any of them, and make sure that all of them are equal at the hemline when you are spreading. So if you are spreading, the hemline of this plate, this paper should guide you. All of them should be equal at the hemline. spreading, and all of them are about 2 inches away from each other, and they are all equal at the hemline. Now I can start cutting, and if I'm cutting, I'll add 1 inch allowance at the hemline for folding it, then round the paper I'll add half an inch. So you can see how I am cutting this. After cutting that place out, I'll cut this particular side and then this side. All right, so the paper can go. We have 2 pieces now. This is what we are going to gather at the side. So if you have enough fabric, you can even spread by up to, let's say, 3 inches. If you have enough fabric, it will help your gathers to be full. Like, the more you spread these papers, the fuller the gathers will be. I hope we understand that now. So this is the gather that will be on the side. Now let's cut out our sleeve. We are going to fold our fabric into two. This sleeve is going to have lining so that it will make the job easy for us. So fold the fabric into two and place your sleeve. Cut the first sleeve and then cut the second one. The fabric is also going to serve as the lining. Like I said, this lining, this sleeve, you're going to make it the lining to make the job easy for us. Now the next thing we are going to cut out will be the cape at the neckline. You know, this dress has a cape at the neckline. All right, we are going to fold our fabric this way, and then you divide your bust by 4. Whatever you have is what you're going to use as the width of each cape. You know, the cape of that dress, we have two, one on the right side, one on the left hand side. So divide your bust by 4. That is what you're going to use to cut out each cape, each of them, and they will have lining, and the fabric will also serve as lining. So my bust is 36 divided by 4. That is about 8 inches. So I'll measure the width, and of course I have up to 8 inches. I also added allowance. I'll see you guys in our next video.